Alright, what's up Dominators? Welcome back to the V-ShiHai's channel, and today I present to you, not mine, Tsukiyomi deck recipe. So basically, this is the Oracle Think Tank, uses Protect. I don't think I really actually get into this, but two videos at once, and two deck recipes nonetheless. As you know, I don't really have a really good uploading schedule. I just usually upload whenever I want. But today I'm releasing two deck recipes because it's special and because this deck is not mine, and obviously I have to return it eventually. So shout out to my friend, thank you very much. Hopefully you don't mind your name being mentioned, Daryl, for lending me his deck to play. And I actually play tested this deck on a tournament, a shop tournament this Saturday. Last Saturday, sorry. And then I found that I actually was able to do the right chain really well, and but I got to top 8 versus a Bermuda Triangle player and lost because Liselot is a broken AF card. And yeah, basically if you luck set out of that, it's even more devastating towards the deck. But moving on, never mind, we're just gonna get into the deck. As usual, we have the new format where I lay out the deck. First we're gonna go through the cards that we run, then after that the skills, then the reasons, and maybe a little bit of the combos at the end, depending on whether I want to do it or not. So in V-BT05, the new cards released are Tsukiyomi, so you have the grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 here, it's the right chain. At the same time, this deck runs a lot of cards that check the top card of the deck in order for you to soul charge another Tsukiyomi so that you can actually use the skill on your first grade 3, right? Alright, so let's move on to the first grade 3, the VR obviously. Goddess of the Full Moon, Tsukiyomi. Basically, act once per turn, you may count plus one, discard a card from your hand, choose up to 3 cards with Tsukiyomi in the card names from your soul, and draw cards equal to the number of cards chosen. If you drew 3 cards, you look at the top 5 cards of the deck, arrange up to 2 cards from among them and put it at the top of your deck in any order, and put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then the second skill is when you reveal 2 or more triggers during a drive check this turn. Until end of turn, 3 of your front row units gain power plus 10k. This is basically a free front trigger every time you drive check 2 trigger units. Thoughts at first when it first came out, it wasn't that hyped up because everybody thought it was pretty mediocre, and I have to admit, yes, it is pretty mediocre, but it allows you to scry the top few cards of your deck and allows you to get the count plus 1 draw 2 for free because in return you discard 1 and draw 3. So it's basically a free plus 2 to your hand. At the same time, it allows you to filter out your triggers from the deck, from the top 5, and then you put 2 triggers on top. At the same time, I think that whenever your opponent has to guard, you have to commit the additional overguard, because if you are to drive track 2 trigger units, your whole front row gains 10k. So if you're guarded, your opponent will be guarding for 2 pass, is actually guarding for 1 pass only, because in regard that when you drive track 2 trigger units, your whole front row gain 10k, which means that your opponent has to guard for essentially 3 pass, 3 trigger units passing. For twin drive drive check, or they have to guard for no pass at all in order for you to not pump everything to your vanguard. So yeah, that's a really good skill, I would say. Moving on to the other grade 3 that we run, we got Evil Eye Princess Urale. Basically, vanguard rank skill, when you look at the top, when you look at the deck by an effect during your turn, you may soul charge 1. And then the other skill on vanguard circle only, when your attack hits, you may count plus 1 and draw 2 cards. Basically, you ideally wouldn't want to ride her as your first ride at all. You ideally want to ride up into the right chain, the grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 right chain. And then after that, you use Urale's skill for only one reason only, is because of the soul charging. Tsukiyomi's skill states that you need at least 3 Tsukiyomi's in card names in your soul in order to get the full effect. I mean, to obviously gain the most full effect of the ability, which is to discard 1 and draw 3. But obviously you only have to discard 1, draw 2, and you're unable to check the top 5 cards of your deck. So this grade 3 is what you will be running, and there's a lot of cards in the deck that actually helps you to check the top card of your deck, so that it's important that you ride up into Tsukiyomi and you're able to use the ability on your first ride. Moving on, we got the new grade 2 Goddess of Half Moon Tsukiyomi. Vanguard skill at the beginning of the right phase, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put 1 card from among them to your hand, put the rest at the bottom, discard a card from hand, and if you discarded the grade 3, you may write it as stand, and you cannot write this turn. So basically, the right chain, a more refined version of the right chain as before. Top 5, you add 1, you may add any card. At the same time, you're not revealing the card to your opponent. And then even if you have the grade 3, you may add any other card from the pool, put the rest to the bottom of the deck, and then you discard the grade 3 and write it. So it's a free +1. Second skill is during the battle that you attack the Vanguard. If Goddess of the Crescent Moon Tsukuyomi is in your soul, basically the grade 1, you are able to gain 3k until end of the battle. So yeah, it's not for the end of the turn, but basically in standard you are unable to so-called restand your rearguard, so it doesn't really matter, but I still have 12k beat stick. Moving on to one of the best grade 2s in OTT, Rectangle Mayors came from the trial deck. When placed, count +1, soul +1, look at top 2 cards of your deck, put them in any order, and then you draw a card. And then when this unit draft check reveals a trigger, it gains 5k until the end of turn. So what essentially means, if it pairs up with Tsukuyomi, when you draft check 2 triggers, in addition to your whole front row gaining an additional 10k power because of Tsukuyomi's skill, Rectangle Magus gains an additional 10k as well because whenever you draft check trigger, it gains 5k, so it stacks. Really good unit. I think the best grade 2 turn would be whenever your opponent gives you counterblast, you will ride up into Tsukuyomi, the grade 2 Tsukuyomi, and then call Rectangle Magus down to start rearranging your deck. Last grade 2 we play is actually Yellow Witch Mimi. So Yellow Witch Meme, I like to call it. Basic skill, when placed at the top card of the deck and put it to the top or bottom. Basically, it helps out with Urale, as I said before. Most of the cards here in the deck actually helps out with you getting Tsukuyomi's ability online at the first turn of your grade 3, right? If you notice that the deck doesn't run, let's just say Imperial Daughter, it doesn't run Deer, it doesn't run cards like a Battle Sister Macaron, because I think what my friend is trying to achieve, and I think I agree with him, is that if you are using Tsukuyomi to ride into the grade 3 turn, you are trying to use the ability already at its first ride, because you wouldn't want to try to ride it right up again to the when it's your 4th turn, right, when you ride up to another grade 3, or you manage to soul charge another Tsukuyomi in your soul by the end of your grade 3 turn, right? Because it's really slow, and with standard being so fast at the moment, it's really hard for you to gain advantage with your abilities only activating at your 2nd grade 3 turn, right? So if you want to end your opponent quickly and fast, I recommend this build. It's really strong, and it's really more consistent in a sense. Last but not least, we got Battle Sister Choquette. So it's basically the old card from V-BT03, yes. When placed, you may soul +1, look at top 5 cards of the deck, review up to 1 grade 3, put it at the top of the deck, shuffle the rest of the cards and put it at the bottom of the deck, and this thing gives +5k. Reasons why I run, as I said before, whenever you check the top card of the deck, put the grade 3 on top, you may soul charge it, and then basically the Tsukuyomi skills gains, the skill is online, you soul charge another Tsukuyomi into your soul. So take note that this deck is running at a very low grade 3 count, and you only ideally want to ride every time into Tsukuyomi only, and you wouldn't want to ride into Urale. So you only have like a few limited protect markers to actually use, so make sure that you use them wisely. As you can see, the triggers also when we get to later once we go through the rest of the grade 1s. Grade 1s, we have Goddess of the Crescent Moon Tsukuyomi, grade 1 Chain Ride. Basically at the beginning of right phase, if God Hot Ichibi is in your soul, basically the starter, that's why you run it. You look at the top 5 cards in the deck, put 1 card from one of them, put the rest at the bottom, discard a card, and you discard it. Goddess of Half Moon Tsukuyomi, you write it as turn, so basically discard the grade 2, and you can write this turn. Basically almost the exact same skill, but it requires God Hot Ichibi, so take note. After that, you're basically a vanilla, either a booster, or you can soul charge it to use Tsukuyomi's skill, or you just throw it for a shield value. Moving on, we got Tetramigas. So reasons why run is because sometimes if you're unable to check the top card of your deck, basically you got a lot of triggers in your hand, or you just ideally want to guarantee that you get at least a crit trigger on the top to apply that pressure, and in the chance of you getting a second trigger on the top, due to Tsukuyomi skill and your whole front row gaining 10k, you may cycle your opponent, or we say play games with your opponent by using Tetramega skill when placed. You Vanguard get your grader, come on, draw 1, reveal a quick trigger from your hand and put it at the top of the deck. So it guarantees you at least checking that 1 crit trigger and applies the pressure of your opponent dying to your crit trigger. Last but not least, we got Core Megas. I think this card is should to be run in most of OTT deck because it's just a great card overall. When placed with the top 2 cards from the top of the deck and put them in the top of the deck in any order. So the skill is basically you ideally want to combo with Urali, as I said before. On place, you with Urali on board, you're on place, you check the top 2. If there's a grade 3 or any of the Tsukiyomis on board, not on board on the top 2 cards, put it on top, and then Urali skills activate. When you look at the top, you may so charge to grade 2 or grade 1 or grade 3, and then you're able to activate Tsukiyomi skill by then. So 4 off is a necessity. And then for those though that don't know, when you ride over Lozin Magus, you may activate the abilities in any order. But when you ride over Ichibushi, I'm not too sure if you're able to activate her skill first, because problem is that Ichibushi is not a Magus in name, while actually Lozin Magus has a Magus in name. But I'm not too sure. Maybe you guys can leave in the comments on what actually happens with the interactions and all that. Last but not least, we have White Hair of Inaba. This card is really good if you are really unable to check any Tsukiyomis by a first grade 3 turn, right? And most of them, let's just say, are in your hand because you drew them by accident. This card offers a really good recovery. Basically, at the end of the battle, they boosted a grade 3 Vanguard. You may put a card from your hand to your soul and draw a card. So, at the end of the battle that you boosted, let's just say the Tsukiyomi Vanguard. If you're grade 2 or grade 1 in soul in your hand, you may put the grade 1 or grade 2 in your soul, and then you draw a card. And then the next turn when you were to use Tsukiyomi skill, you already have grade 3 of the Tsukiyomis in your soul because of this card. So it's a really good card. I recommend you to run it if you're running the Tsukiyomi variant. Yes, Tsukiyomi variant of the deck. Protect markers, obviously, we have Protect 2 markers as well, but most ideally, most of the time with Naru being a meta right now and Bermuda being the meta, you ideally still want to go Protect 1. And my friend has a really beautiful Misaki and Suiko Protect marker. Last but not least, for the trigger lineup, as you can see, is a really interesting trigger lineup of 2 draws only and then 10 crits with 4 heals. I'm totally fine with that because as usual, Tsukiyomi is a Protect clan, but ideally you don't want to keep riding. You don't want to keep riding, but ideally you are riding really little in this deck because of the limited grade 3s, and you wouldn't want to ride into Urale. And having only 4 Tsukiyomis, grade 3 Tsukiyomis in the deck is really hard for you to keep reriding once you ride up into 1 because you're left 3. And then most of the time you either soul charge it or shuffle it to the bottom of the deck based on the other skills that we have right here. So 10 crits, 4 heals and 2 draws is optimal, I would say. I don't mind. There are builds running around that has run 12 crits and just running grade 1 PGs, but I don't feel the need of running grade 1 PGs in this deck because number 1, it slows down the process of you checking the top card of your deck, which you don't have cards to run it because you ideally have to cut some of these cards out. At the same time, drop 1 draw 1 doesn't really offer that much, and it's 7k base unit, so if you're starting second, it really sucks. But yeah, that 12 crit pressure is still there, but I think this is much more consistent rather than running 12 crits and not running the draw PGs at all. You are able to shift around the triggers as much as you want, but I think this build works out as fine as well. So yeah, that's about it for the deck. I think there's not much skill involved in terms of basically showing you how the deck runs. I think it's basically you have to draw into your grade 1 or grade 2 to enable the right chain, and then once you're on grade 3, call Urale, hopefully you have her in your hand. Usually if you have a grade 1, grade 2 in your hand, in the starting hand, you wouldn't want to throw them away because you still can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then you add any card, and then you still can throw the grade 2 and then you superior ride it as stand on your Vanguard. Turn 2, it's important that you get Rectangle Magus to rush down opponents. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons why this deck is really good as well, because you're able to check the top 2 cards of your deck, at the same time apply the trigger where Rectangle Magus gets 5k for every time you get dredge a trigger. So great turn is really important that you crit your opponent per se. And yeah, that's about it. In terms of how the deck runs, I think it's pretty much almost consistent, but there are flaws, and I would say that number 1, once you're running out of triggers in this deck, as I said before, I didn't really say it before, but I think that once you're running out of triggers in this deck is basically at a standstill because number one, you don't get any power. As I said, most of the cards in this deck are basically relying on you tricking the top card and relying on a trigger in order for you to gain additional power. So once you're running out of triggers, let me say in the late game or anything, you basically lose out to most of the any other decks in the meta right now. Number two, with the consistency of you not riding every turn from a grade 3 to a grade 3, let's just say you're not running only the Tsukiyomi build, you're running, let's just say, half Imperial, half Tsukiyomi with a dash a bit of Deer inside. It's really hard for you to actually gain the additional power if you don't really drive check those two triggers which you are counting on based on Tsukiyomi skill. That's one of the reasons why it's really hard to push through the opponent's defense in the late game when they build their board really well, and you are unable to recover off that because most of the cards in there, as I said before, are checking the top card, relying on you to soul charging the Tsukiyomis in the early game, and then after that immediately ending your opponent off before they can even get to the stage where they can basically stabilize into the grade 3 game, and then from there they just end you off. So basically every Force clan and almost every Excel clan ever. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your guys' comments in the comment section down below. What do you think of the deck? Do you think that maybe you should run more Deers, maybe you should run not more Deers, maybe you should run Deer, maybe you should run Imperial Daughter in order for the consistency to be there. You still get a 15k one crit, so you don't have to rely on you checking the triggers. But that's all in the hands of my friend. I think that this deck overall is good, but there are obviously improvements that could be made. But thank you very much for lending me your deck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This is V-Shai, I'm out. Peace.